Yo, what up? What up? What's cracking? We got 12 people in here that quick. What's up? Tiaga, Diana, ¿qué haces? What up, people? What up? Man, I should have some background music in here. Daily Driven H2. I'll see you tomorrow, bro. We'll be in Cali. We got a secret meetup going on. For everybody that's out in Cali. Oh my goddess. What's up? Diana Arteaga is the first one in here. She gets a free t-shirt. Diana, vas a ganar una t-shirt de Will Motivation gratis. Ya ganaste. Postman 878, Sunny Dukes. Oh my goddess. Rodney Miranda, what's good? 38 Baby 2, what's up? Daily Driven H2. See you tomorrow, bro. The secret meetup spot. Let me get the address of the secret meetup spot. Hold on one second. I'm gonna be in California tomorrow for those that don't know. And I'm doing a secret meetup. The only people that's gonna know about it are the people that watch this live stream. So if you're in California, I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I land around 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna grab my rental car, and I'm gonna hit the secret meetup spot. It's gonna be some stuff going down at the secret meetup spot. I can't tell y'all what's happening on here, but if you show up, you'll see what's happening. So I'm gonna tell y'all what the secret meetup spot is. Now, if you come into the secret meetup, don't say what this location is. Just read the location and be there tomorrow around 12 p.m. Matter of fact, be there at 12 p.m. because I'm not gonna be waiting around because I don't know who's coming. All right, 12 p.m. I'm gonna be at this spot right here, secret meetup spot, right there. Alt key to pause a chat, then point to a message to delete it. Block the user or take over. Okay. Alt key, got it. All right, so see. Wait, see what's cracking, y'all. That's a secret meetup spot. I'm gonna keep that in my cache. But what I wanted to do tonight, man, a lot of people don't realize that I actually launched my online real estate course, and as a part of the services that I provide with anybody that subscribes to my online course, I do these live streams, and I answer questions to anybody that is trying to learn how to invest in real estate. So I want you guys to do me a favor. If you're watching this live stream, take just 1 second, find the little thumbs up button and hit thumbs up for me. Because what happens is when you hit thumbs up or hit the like button, whatever you want to call it, then YouTube sees that people like the live stream, and then they share it with more watchers. But if nobody hits thumbs up, then we'll have a live stream in here by ourselves, and we might miss out on some really good questions because the more people that come, then the more people that ask good questions, and the more we learn, right? So that's what it's going to be about. What's good? So before I start answering questions, man, I'm trying to shout everybody out. We got Daily Driven H2. We have Mr. Most Unlikely, Carlos Figueroa, Brandon Martinez Plays, Jackpot Winner Ken, Miles Schwarlaws, Postman 878. I see your question there. I'm gonna get to it. Fred Waller. Yep, got that music, bro. I'm gonna use it too. Mr. Most Unlikely to Succeed, Tony. I have to say you probably are most likely to succeed since you're on this live stream tonight. Jermaine Robinson, what's up, bro? Appreciate all the support. Diana Arteaga. Sí, hablo mucho mejor en inglés. Eddie I, Phil Rodriguez, Rodney Miranda, Drew Moore, and Angelo Gomez. Jermaine Robinson, what up, brother? Oh my goddess, what's good? All right, so y'all hit the thumbs up for me, man. We got 27 people in here. Hit thumbs up real quick, and then we're gonna get it cracking. So I've seen the first question come in. What I want to do is I want to share some knowledge with you guys about investing in real estate. I want to answer your questions. And what would be tight is if I could, man, if I could show you guys my screen, man, that would really be tight. But it looks like I can't with this program that I'm using right now. But anyway, let's go ahead and have a question and answer session. Is anybody in here from California besides Daily Driven H2? If you're from California, say something in the comments because I'm gonna tell y'all where the meetup is at. All right. But look, check it out. Cali, Frederick Miller, check this out, man. I'm gonna be there tomorrow at 12 p.m., 12 noon. I'm gonna be right there, 12 noon. All right. All right. So I'm gonna start reading off the questions and I'm gonna start answering those questions. So if you got a question, think about the question. As soon as I finish answering, a question, we'll talk about it. And then you can ask another question in the comments, and then I'll just go through and answer the questions related to investing in real estate. Now, if you really want to learn how to invest in real estate, I got two options for you. You can subscribe to my free real estate channel, which is Real Estate 101 on YouTube. It's real easy to find. Matter of fact, I got the URL like this: youtube.com/real estate 101. It's just like that. Easy to find. Matter of fact, I got to put the HTTPS in front of it. youtube.com/real estate 101. All right, that's the new channel. If you want to learn how to invest in real estate, subscribe to that channel. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and talk about it. All right. All right. So the first question that I saw earlier on, let me go back to it real quick. All right. So Postman 878, Postman 878 asked a good question. What he said was, do you use your cash when you flip, or do I use the bank's money when I do a flip? All right, that's an excellent question, man. I do both. All right, and I'm gonna tell you the pros and cons real quick of using your own cash versus using the bank's cash. The biggest pro of using your own cash is that it's a negotiating fact. It's like a negotiating factor. So when you make an offer to buy a house and you say you have all cash ready to go, then usually that gives the seller more confidence in selling you the house. So like if you and somebody else are bidding on a house and you guys both bid the same amount, like let's say you guys are like 80,000, you're bidding on a house, and the other guy's like, well, I'll pay 80,000 and $100 or something like that. But if you say I have a cash offer and the other person has a financed offer where they need to have a bank to close on that house, they might take your cash offer if they're smart because there's less chances that that deal will fall through. But when people finance a house and they have to go to a bank, there's a chance that it could take a long time for the bank to close and get everything ready. Or it might just not happen. The bank, anything could happen. Like the bank might deny them the loan. They could do something, change something in their credit profile, or do something like that, and the deal could fall through. And it happens a lot, actually. So if that's one really big advantage of using cash when you make an offer to buy investment property. The second thing about using cash is you can close on the house faster and get access to the house to start flipping it and get it ready to put back on the market as a rental or as a flip. So if you use your own cash, you can get the house fast. Like you might even be able to close if you could set the appointment with the title company, then you might be able to close in 15 days or less. You know what I'm saying? If you got cash, because all you're going to do is transfer the cash out of your bank account. You're going to wire it into a title company escrow account. Basically, it's their bank account. They hold it. And then you guys sit at the table and sign all the paperwork to have the title transferred over into your name to own that house and the deed and everything. And then they transfer that money over to the seller, and then they give you the deed to the house and do all the paperwork for you. You get the keys to the house right then and there, and then you can go do your flip. Now, for me, I don't like using my own cash unless I have to, because here's the downside of using your own cash. The downside is then just depending on how much cash you have, it's always good to have an emergency fund and have cash sitting around to handle any unexpected things that come up with any of your investment properties. I like to have my cash sitting around on the side to handle any business emergencies that need money. And sometimes there's unforeseen things that happen in the rehab. So I like to have my cash sitting around to handle any unforeseen things that happen in the rehab. Okay, so I prefer, if I can, to get away with it, I'll go to the bank and just tell them, lend me the money because it's pretty cheap, like relatively speaking. If you do a flip and it takes you 90 days or 3 months to do a flip, you're only paying interest to the bank for 3 months. And you're only paying for the bank that I use, I only pay about $500 to do the paperwork and close. So it's it's super cheap for me to go to the bank and get a loan for 90 days. Because then the interest that I'm paying every month is in the hundreds of dollars, maybe. And you pay that 3 months, it's not that much. And then in the meantime, I gotta have all of my money, my cash sitting around on the side to do my rehab. Like I usually finance my rehabs and the down payment myself, but then I get the bank to give me 80% of the money, unless it's a cheap house. Like if it's a house that's only like 25,000 or $35,000 house, or even 50,000, I might just use my own cash or the business's cash. Um, but if it's like 100,000 or more, then I usually will get a bank to partner with me so I can have my cash in on the side. So that's the answer to that question. Now I'm looking for the next question, and welcome to everybody that has jumped into this live stream talking about investing in real estate. And if you're from Cali, let's do a little timeout. If you're from Cali, I'm going to be there tomorrow in Los Angeles, and I'm going to be in Valencia for a secret meetup. And if you want to come meet Will Motivation and see what I'm doing out in Cali, because I'm not going to announce it until later on. I might not announce it for another month or two, but I'm going to be right here tomorrow. Right? If you're in Cali, check that out, and I'll be there tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon. I'm flying in. All right. All right. So if you're in Cali, shout yourself out. And then if you got questions related to real estate, let's go. I'm getting a little bit hot, man. Hold on. Take this hoodie off real quick. Now, hold on. Bear with me, man. Let me take this hoodie off. All right. Here we go. All right, yo. Let's go. All right. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about investing in real estate. We're talking about the secret meetup tomorrow in California, the LA area, Valencia area. I will be there at 12 noon. Thanks to everyone that has joined this live stream. I'm going to just answer questions. We'll have a good time talking about investing in real estate. Don't forget, I have a new real estate channel. The channel is youtube.com/real estate 101, the number 101. And if you want to take my online course, I am offering a launch discount for the first 50 students to take the course. And I'll give you guys a link to that right here if you're interested in taking my online real estate course. So it's willmotivation.com/invest. And if you use that URL, it'll actually take you to the discount, the discounted version of the course. You get 40% off, and makes it very affordable for those of you that want to learn how to invest in real estate. Now, if you don't have the money for the course, that's cool. Because I love to give out free knowledge on YouTube, and we'll answer as many questions as we can related to investing in real estate. Now, if you guys got questions on entrepreneurship, or if you have questions about the Lambo or the cars or stuff like that, I'm happy to answer those questions as well. But yeah, let's go. All right, so I see a question from, what up, Sean John? I see Sean John is in here. Here's the location for tomorrow at 12 noon. That's where I'm gonna be at. All right, so let me answer this super chat real quick. What's up, buddy? Hi, Tommy. Tommy, what's up, bro? I appreciate the super chat, man. I didn't know if you had a question or what, but I'm gonna look out for it. All right, so I'm scrolling down from the top to bottom, man. I appreciate the love with the super chat. And if you got a question and you put it on super chat, I can see it and I can answer it a little bit faster, but I don't require anybody to do that, so it's cool. All right, so Jermaine Robinson said, what do I think about investing in commercial real estate, such as real estate investment trusts, REITs? So I have one commercial real estate investment property, potentially two. I have a property that is currently residential, and the zoning department asked me if I wanted to turn that property into a commercial property, and I declined because the taxes get higher when you have commercial property, and um, and I was renting a place out, and I didn't have a different kind of business that I needed to put in there. So so I kept that residential and I had it as an Airbnb. Now I didn't tell them it was Airbnb. I just told them I was renting it out. But then I also have an office space. So I have an office condo where I run my business, and it's a commercial investment property. So I'm gonna tell you what I think about commercial real estate compared to residential real estate. Um, and I prefer investing in residential single family homes followed by condos. Like I like single family homes more than I like condos. Reason being, you appreciate more. The value of the homes appreciate faster with single family homes than condos, and usually they appreciate faster than commercial real estate. The issue with commercial real estate is you have a limited number of buyers. Like you got a limited number of people that want to buy an office space. So the values usually don't skyrocket, at least not where I am. They don't usually skyrocket and grow as fast as residential because with residential, you got a lot, you might have a million people in an area that either have to rent or they have to buy something. So that gives you options to be able to leverage that property. You can leverage it as a rental, or you could sell it and flip it, make some money, right? But with commercial, you can do the same thing. You can rent out commercial, and you can sell commercial. But depending on where you are, there might not be a hot market for like a whole lot of small businesses or even large businesses that need commercial property. So, however, there are people that are in the real estate game at a higher level than I am that are making a lot of money in commercial real estate. It's just that you have to have a lot of money to be able to invest, and you got to know what you're doing. So it's not like it can't be guesswork. So for example, you want to get a commercial real estate property and you want to flip it. You might have to have hundreds of thousands of your own money, or you might have to go get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to secure a good property. Then you got to hold it. So you got carrying costs. You got to pay the monthly expenses on a mortgage or whatever until you're able to flip it. And so you got to have a lot of money to play in that space to be able to move around and make serious money with commercial investment properties. But I mean, I'm sure in every situation you get the right piece of land or the right building and in the right neighborhood where somebody really wants to put some businesses, then you can make a come up. You know what I'm saying? But that hasn't really been my experience. My experience has been I've rented out my commercial real estate property before, and I made a good amount of profit on it when I had it rented out. But there wasn't a whole bunch of people beating down my door to rent it. Like I would have had to wait for a while, and I might even do it again because I still have that property. But I prefer single family homes, especially if you're a beginner, and then just study up on the commercial side before you jump into it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not the person to tell you, all of the ins and outs of that because I only have one commercial property at this point in time. All right. Cool. All right. So let me look out. Let me look and see who we have in here. Thank you for everybody that has joined so far. We're talking about investing in real estate. This is Will Motivation. I'm at home doing this live stream, and it is live. So my kids just walked in, and they might say, "What's up? What's up?" And hey, can you guys do me a favor and hit the like thumbs up for me? We got 49 people in here, 23 thumbs up. Somebody hit the thumbs up for me, man. Appreciate it. And then we're going to continue talking about investing in real estate. And I appreciate you guys hitting the thumbs up because I see the thumbs up going up right now. Appreciate it. We got almost 50 people in here. So we are going to drop some more knowledge. All right. So Johnny Cha-Ching said, Will, can you touch on leveraging a little? I feel maxed out and I need to leverage. All right. So be careful. It's the first thing I'm gonna say, because if you feel maxed out, then if you leverage yourself, then that means you're picking up more debt. So if you're maxed out on debt, then if you leverage your properties that you might have, and what it means when you're talking about leveraging in real estate, that means you're basically leveraging your credit and you're leveraging debt. So you're basically getting loans on assets that you might have. But here's the flip side. So if you feel maxed out, you might feel like you're bottoming out. Like you might feel like you don't have enough cash to do whatever it is you're trying to do, but you have equity in some properties or something like that, and you want to get loans against those properties so that you have some cash to work with. So if that is the case, before you get that cash, just make sure you have a solid plan on what you're going to do with that cash before you get it. Because if you get the cash and you don't have a plan, 9 times out of 10, a lot of people are just going to take that money and just start wasting it on, bills and things that come up in life, which is not a good plan. The other thing that could happen is you get that money out and then you have to start paying interest on it. As soon as you pull that money out and you leverage your properties or whatever you have, then you got to start paying payments on that loan, whatever you get. So if you feel maxed out right now, you're going to have another loan. You might feel more maxed out because you got another loan payment, unless you get that money out and you already have a plan. So I have leveraged my properties before. I've leveraged my current home. I got a mortgage and I got a home equity line of credit on my house. I got a home equity line of credit on a house that I paid off, where my baby's mom stays. I have a line of credit on that house and I have a payment on it. But I was able to use that money. I had a plan. I took the money off of that line of credit for that investment property that I had, and I used it to help me build Project Huracan. If you don't know what Project Huracan is, it's a house that I'm building from the ground up. And so far, I bought some land and I started building the house. So I took that money and I had a plan to build that house, and I'm gonna have huge equity in that house once it's done. So that was my plan. I didn't take any of that money and waste it on frivolous things. Now, my home equity line of credit for my current home, I have used it to buy cars and stuff like that. But then when I sell the car, I usually pay off the debt that I had in that line of credit. So you just got to have a plan and know what you're doing if you're going to start leveraging your properties and stuff like that. But if you are looking to just have more breathing room and have a little bit of money, and you got all your money in property and stuff like that, then I would just say cut down your expenses and then increase your income. Cut down your expenses and increase your income. I'm in that process right now myself, cutting down my expenses, and I'm making as much money as possible without getting a whole bunch of new loans and stuff. All right. So that's my thoughts on leverage, man. Just be careful. But if you got a plan on reinvesting in another property or something like that, you do all the numbers, then it could be a good thing. All right. So welcome to the Will Motivation live stream. We're talking about investing in real estate. Thanks everybody for joining us. Hit the thumbs up for me if you would. I'm taking questions. I'm gonna just scroll. Man, there's some good questions in here, so I don't want to skip anybody's questions before I scroll to the bottom. But if you're interested in the meetup that we're doing tomorrow, I am flying out to California in the morning. I'm going to be there at about 9 o'clock, and then I'm going to do a meetup at 12 p.m. at the following location. Right there is where I'm going to be. Got it? So if you're in the California area, you want to hang out, meet up for a minute and see what I'm doing in California, be there, and I'll have you on the video when we decide to release it. All right. All right. Frederick Miller said, "What training course materials beside the real estate investment book you recommend did you use to get started, or was there a mentorship that helped you along?" So Frederick Miller asked a really good question, which leads to why I started my own real estate investment course. You guys told me to do it, and I finally did it. And if anybody is interested in taking my online course, you can do that. It's willmotivation.com/invest. It's here. I'm gonna put the link right here. So that's my online course with the discount if anybody wants to take it. But the thing is, I bought a course a long time ago, and I mostly bought it for my wife at the time. It was like CDs, and I saw like some of those late night infomercials, and I was like, man, it would really be nice to have that extra income coming in and by investing in real estate. And it just looked like a good thing to do. And then I saw all the testimonials of people that had took this course and they started having investment properties and they started doing flips and stuff. And I was like, you know what, this will be kind of good if I can get into this. And I had 2 little kids at the time, so I bought the course. I think it was like $500 or something like that. And to be honest, I never read it. I wanted my wife at the time, my ex-wife now, I wanted her to take the course and let her do it, and I could keep making the money at the day, the 9 to 5. But anyway, I bought that and it just collected dust. Man, I put it under the bed and we never read it. But I had this seed in my mind that investing in real estate would be a good thing. And I used to walk around the neighborhood and I used to think, it'd be nice to maybe own some of these houses in this neighborhood at some point. And it was just a thought. That's why I always say be careful of the thoughts that you put in your head, because they can actually turn into reality if that's what you think and that's what you want. So no, I didn't have a course that I took. I did read a lot of books. I read that the Millionaire Real Estate Investor book by Keller Williams. And I read a few other little books here and there. I listened to a lot of audio CDs to teach myself. And then I just jumped in. Now, the advantage that I had is that I had been running a business prior to that for at least 10 years. All right. So I had 10 years of business experience. So when I got into real estate, I kind of knew at least how to run a business. I knew how to set up a business. I knew how to manage my bank accounts. I knew how to invest money, manage money, and move stuff around. Okay. So that was my advantage, but I didn't know anything about investing in real estate other than what I read in books. And I taught myself how to do it successfully. And I have so far not lost money on any of my deals. Every property that I sold it for a profit or more than what I bought it for. And then every property that I have rented out is either paid off, collecting rental income, or I might have a mortgage on it. And but I'm in the green. I'm making profit every month off of those rental properties. So I taught myself. I'm somewhat conservative, so I teach that in my online course. But yeah. So I mean, when I started talking about real estate on my channel, a lot of people started asking me, do I have an online course? And I did not. But after enough, you guys started asking me that. I said, okay, I'll make an online course. So if anybody wants to take it, you feel free to take it. I just put the link up. But if you don't have the money for it or you don't want to take it, whatever, that's cool. What I did is I started a real estate channel on YouTube. It's called Real Estate 101. All right. And I do these live streams to answer questions. So let's go to the next question. So that was Frederick Miller's question. I didn't have mentorship either. I had one friend of mine that I went to high school with that put me on to, he showed me what banks he used to get money to do his investments and the fact that they were local. But I analyzed it and realized that local banks are easier to work with. And I put that kind of knowledge in my course and stuff. So, but I didn't really have a mentor, no. I tried to get a mentor, but I wasn't all that successful doing it. All right, so Sean Leggett. Man, we got a couple of super chats in here. I didn't see them. It's funny. All right, so let me answer these super chats. Realistic said, what age would you suggest black men have kids? Man, I don't know if it's necessarily an age, but I would say for any man, black, white, Latino, Asian, or whatever, I suggest that you have your finances and stuff in order. You have your education and you have a career and you have the ability to support an entire family before you start having kids. That you make enough money to support a wife or a girlfriend, you make enough money to support a kid, one or more kids by yourself before you have kids. You can't be expecting y'all's combined income, you and your wife or you and your girlfriend's income to cover. I'm not comfortable unless I can cover the whole thing, because when the woman goes and has the kids, she ain't gonna be able to work. So so I don't know if it's an age thing as much as it is, having some money saved up, maybe having a house or some type of investments, and having your education and being on a career path to be able to provide a living, provide a home and a family or whatever to support a family. So that's what I would say. And that just goes for anybody, black, white, Latino, Asian, or anybody. That's my thing. Now, it doesn't always happen like that, of course. So people got to hustle, but do what you got to do. Sean Leggett said, I live in New Albany. Do I accept flip proposals? Absolutely. I always, no matter what, will listen to a um, a proposal for somebody that has found a property. But the thing about um, having a flip proposal or even a rental proposal, you want to propose something to a investor. I put a whole section in my online course related to um, being able to present deals to other people. And the thing that you have to know how to do before you can present a deal to an investor is you have to know how to break down the numbers for a flip and break down the numbers for a rental. And it's not that complicated, but you got to have that stuff organized, because if you bring me a property and you say, I have this house at 123 Shady Lane, and the house costs 100,000, and I think we can make 120,000 or something, or 150,000, or even 200. If you say this, what you think we can make? Now, I might look at you and look at the deal and maybe look at the neighborhood real quick. But if you don't have all of the rest of the numbers for, how much money you can make and how much the rehab is going to cost, what's wrong with the house, um, how much the comparable houses are worth in the neighborhood, all of the details that you need to be able to evaluate a property. If you don't have that, then you're going to have a hard time getting an investor to pay attention to you, because you might be wasting my time if you don't even know how to evaluate if something is a good deal or not. So if you can't, because you might as well bring every single house to me on realtor.com if you don't know what you're doing, right? So I can't listen to you if you can't show me the numbers. But if you come to me and show me, look, I can get this house for 100 grand. Houses of that same size and specification, like rooms and bathrooms and stuff, are going for 250, but I can get this house for 100,000. These other houses are going for 250. It only needs $25,000 worth of work because I went in there, took pictures and video of the plumbing and all this other stuff, and you did your due diligence. And then you say, look, if you partner with me, bring in the money for this deal, we stand to make $125,000 at the end of the day, and we could split it. Then I'm gonna be like, all right, let me look at your numbers. I'm gonna verify your numbers and give my own opinion on it. But I would be like, all right, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Boom. But if you come to me and just say 125,000 is the cost, no, 100,000 is the cost of the house, but other houses in that neighborhood are going for 150,000. That might not be enough for me to take you seriously. You got to show me the rest of the deal, like, and all the numbers that you pull together, and what the split is going to be if we do it. And if we do the deal and I'm the one financing it, then my name is going to be on the deed and everything if I'm financing the deal. And so we both going to have to trust each other, right? We'll have a contract and all that kind of stuff. But if you mess up, right, if you're doing the rehab and all of the stuff, once I come up with the money, if you mess up, then I got to take over. That means I'm about to put my own money into the rehab, and I'm going to have to finish it. So, then it would end up being defaulting to me like I'm the bank. All right. So that's how that works. So yeah, I accept proposals for flips, and I don't accept proposals for rentals, like joint rentals. I don't want to do that. But like if somebody brought me a rental and said, hey, this will make a good rental, and they just want me to pay them for that service of bringing me a house, then I would consider that. All right. So, all right. So next question. Thanks for everybody that has tuned in thus far on this quick chat about investing in real estate. My name is Will Motivation. I'm sure probably most of you guys know who I am. Those of you that are on the West Coast out in California, I'm going to be there tomorrow. I'm flying into LAX at 9 o'clock. And then I'm heading over to this following address. So if you're going to be in that area at 12 p.m., I'm going to that address, and we're going to handle some business over there, check some things out. And if you guys want to see what's going on, you could be there and you can hang out and see what's going on. It's going to be real interesting. All right. So let me get to the next question. Anybody that's interested in learning how to invest in real estate, here is my online course. It is willmotivation.com/invest. And that's my online course. A lot of people ask me to do the course, and now it's ready. And the cool thing about it is if you take the course, then I will answer your questions as you go. So if you ask questions for a certain lesson or a certain topic, I get an email and then I go in and answer the question. So anybody else that has asked questions in the past on that subject or on that video in the course, you'll be able to see those questions and those answers, and you'll be able to ask your own. So yeah, so that's for any of you guys that want to take the course. And if you don't want to take the course, you can go subscribe to my free real estate investment channel on YouTube. It's Real Estate 101. All right, so let me see what other questions we got here. Oh, by the way, hit the thumbs up, man. We got 55 people in here and 38 thumbs up. I'm gonna watch. We got 38 thumbs up. Somebody hit thumbs up. Let me see the number go up. I'm gonna count it. All right. Hit thumbs up for me. Let's see what happens. All right, 39. Somebody else, 42. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all are about business in here. All right. D Moss, what's cracking? Got my brother in the chat. Let me make D Moss a moderator. So if y'all act up, D Moss can can moderate. All right, so here we go. All right, let's see. The next question. So if anybody has a question, make sure to ask the question. Somebody said, does anyone know how to delete search history on iPhone? My wife is gonna be on soon. Yeah, that's funny. I can't help you with that, bro. All right, so Gregory Anderson from Cleveland said, my name is Greg, I'm from Cleveland. My question is, how much do I have to have saved up to start investing? All right, I get this question a lot, man. I get this question a lot, and there's a lot of different answers to this question. But let me try to just give you I don't want to give you like a riddle for the answer. So you're asking me, how much money do you have to have saved to start investing? Here's the deal. It depends on how much houses cost in your area. It also depends on what your credit looks like. So if you got good credit, you got good income, and you go to a bank and you can get a loan, then a lot of times you can get a loan and your down payment, like if it's your first house that you're going to buy, your down payment might only be 10% or 15%. If you're an investor and you've done a few homes, you got a few rentals, then maybe your down payment is going to have to be 20%. So 20% of what? That's why I said it depends on how much houses cost in your area. So let's say you find a house in your area that costs $100,000. If you get an investor loan, you go to a bank, like a small local bank in Cleveland somewhere. Excuse me. If you get a loan from a small bank in Cleveland somewhere, like a local bank, I see you, Tommy. I'm gonna answer that in just a second. So if you get a loan from a small local bank and they give you, and you have a house that's $100,000, they might give you 80% of the money, and you got to come up with 20%. So 20% of $100,000 is $20,000. So that's how much you would need to get access to the house. However, once you get the house, you're still going to have to pay for the renovation to the house and any costs associated with owning that house. So you might need to have more than that 20,000 because you might have to do 10,000 in repairs to get it ready to rent. So you might have to have 30,000 in total. It just depends on the situation, because you might buy a house that all you got to do is go in there and paint, and you just need a few $100s worth of paint, and you go in there yourself and paint the house and clean the carpet and get it nice and ready to go, and you do the landscaping yourself, and you put that house on the market for rent, or potentially you could fix it up yourself and put it up for sale. But the answer to your question, it just depends on the cost of the house. Like I did an example video of a house that I bought that cost me $35,000. So in order for me to get that house, all I needed was $7,000 to get the house, and the bank gave me the rest of the money. So 7,000 is 20% of that 35,000. All right. So in that case, all I need is 7,000 to buy the house, and then whatever money you need for the rehab. In that particular house, I put in probably $10,000 worth of rehab, so it'll be a $17,000 investment. However, the house is now worth over $100,000. So, do the math. Now, if you don't have, if you do not have thousands of dollars in the bank, you don't have 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. What you can do to invest is you can you can either get a loan, like a consumer loan, not an investment loan. You can get a regular loan and get a lower percentage. That's like if you're a homeowner, you're going to live there for a while. If it's your first home loan, you buy the house, and then your percentage that you might have to pay can be lower. The other thing is, if you don't have any money, you can get to know investors. So you can start hanging out at the real estate investment group meetups and stuff like that. Look for them on the internet in Cleveland. And you can find investors that have the money. But sometimes a lot of investors don't have time because they make their money doing other things, but they like to invest in real estate. So you can hook up with an investor that has money. You can learn how to find deals and evaluate deals and then present those deals to the investor in exchange for a percentage. But you're going to have to not only bring the deal, but you're probably going to have to do the work. Or else the investor is going to be like, what do I need you for? I'll take the deal myself, and they can run off with that deal. All right. So now, if you want to invest, I would recommend you take my course, because then you can not only going to get everything, all of my knowledge, but I'll answer your questions. If there's something short that you don't understand or whatever, that's what I'm here for. All right. So I'm going to answer Tommy's question. So Tommy, let me find the question, bro. Let me look up here the notes. Tommy. All right, so Tommy said, Will, could you scroll up and see my comment, please? I'm asking, when is the right time to pull equity out from a home? I paid $103,000 and put 45 into the home. I think it's around 190 now. All right, so for me personally, I don't pull equity out. It's the same thing about the guy who was asking about leverage. I'm not going to pull the money out unless I need it and I have a plan for the money. However, if you think the value of the homes are gonna plummet, then maybe you do want to pull the equity out before the value of the home goes down. Because if it goes down, you're only going to be able to pull out from the equity that you have in the house. So if it's worth 190 now and the market takes a turn and goes down and nobody wants to buy houses, then maybe it goes from 190 to 160, and then you only have a few $1,000s in equity. So you wouldn't be able to pull anything out. But if you took the equity out now, you could get it. But I don't like doing that unless I have a plan for the money. Because if you just spend the money on anything, then it's gone. It could be gone. So I like to put money into stuff like other houses. Like if you got a plan to buy another house, then yeah, you could pull the equity out. Now the other thing you could do is you could get a home equity line of credit and just have that available to you when you're ready to pull the trigger on another property. You know what I'm saying? So that's an option. But remember, when you pull that money out, that's debt, man. That's straight up debt that you owe. So I would say be careful pulling stuff out unless you have a plan to acquire other property, or something that's going to make your net worth go up when you pull that money out. Okay. So just be careful with that. I've gotten a couple of lines of credit and I have leveraged some properties to buy other property, but I never really brought money out or got a mortgage on a house to buy, something frivolous that was going to go down dramatically in value. I have bought cars with money that I pulled out, but usually when I buy a car, I can sell the car later, get the money back, and then pay off that loan that I got. So I might lose a few thousand, but nothing. I'm not going to burn the money away. You know what I'm saying? So that's my advice to you, bro, on that. All right. All right. So those of you that have tuned in, this is Will Motivation. We're talking about investing in real estate. I'm going to talk another 15 minutes, or I'm going to answer questions another 15 minutes. If you're interested in investing in real estate and you do not want to buy my online course, then go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Real Estate 101. Which is youtube.com/realestate101, just like that. And if you want to invest in learning from me in my online course, the course is, here's the URL right here. And this is a discount code, motivation.com/invest. So that is the discount code for investing in real estate. My course. All right. And Tommy, thanks, bro. And you don't have to do that, bro. You don't have to do the super chat. I'll answer your questions, bro. All right. So So he said it's to remodel my second property when I buy it. It's making 1,800 a month profit right now. Okay, yeah. If you're, I mean, as long as you're in a good spot, man, and you're not gonna compromise yourself being able to pay that additional mortgage, then just do the numbers, man, before you make the moves. Like, what's your additional payment going to be? How much money you're going to be making? How long is it going to take before you make that extra money? And just make sure you're good, so that, like, a lot of times what happens with people, they don't manage their money right. Like, they get into investing in real estate, but they're not being careful with the worst case scenario that could come up. So a lot of people got into real estate and they were buying properties, and they had a few properties, and then the market crashed and they panicked because nobody wanted to buy houses and they couldn't get more loans. And maybe their money was tight and they weren't taking care of their properties, and they just were letting their homes go instead of fixing their homes, keeping their homes nice, and just renting them out, and then looking for more property to buy when the market is low. When the market crashes, don't panic. Like, if the market ever goes way down, then you should be getting hungry like a fox, like a wolf. You should be like, oh yeah, like let it get all the way down, like let it bottom out, because that's when millionaires are made. Like, that's when, like, people who are rich or getting ready to be rich or already super wealthy, when the real estate market crashes, they get happy because they're gonna be like, I'm gonna buy the whole block, I'm gonna buy this whole neighborhood. And then when it comes back, because it's usually, if you're in a healthy city, it's going to come back. And then they become millionaires over, the course of a few years. You know what I'm saying? So that's some food for thought. What's the fastest way to get the most money from a rental? The fastest way is to make that rental super nice and make it the nicest rental in that neighborhood. You're going to be competing with other rentals. So make your rental the nicest. So it has nice carpet, nice flooring, it has fresh paint, it has the trim painted in the most modern color, which is usually just white. All the doors and the trim look nice. In the kitchen, you might have some granite, you might have stainless steel appliances, you might have brand new looking light fixtures and all that stuff that doesn't really cost all that much money, but you make it super nice, and then you charge the most rent for it. That's the fastest way to get the most money from a rental. You charge the most rent. The way you justify charging the most rent is having your house to be the nicest. That's been my strategy, and it works. Now, if you own a rental in a place where there's not a whole lot of demand for a rental, then you know it's just going to be more competitive for you. And I would say just look to get a rental in a competitive market where there's a lot of people that need housing. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you can make quick rental money. All right, what type of rental property is best to build on 5,000 square feet of land? What kind of rental property? I mean, you could do a multi-family property. Like, most people will say a multi-family property, like a apartment building, or, condos, row home condos or something like that. Because you can get more, streams of income from multiple families being in those different houses, and you can maximize that space. But that's easier said than done. But if you have the finances and the connections and everything to make that happen, then a multifamily probably would be best. But it sort of also depends on the area, like the neighborhood. What other kind of houses are in that area? All right. So this is for Donovan Matthew that I'm talking about. So I would research the area and see, like, if you get on Zillow and look at rental property prices, look at what properties are in that area where you have that land and what they're charging for rent. Look at the most expensive house that's being rented out, or if there's like an area that has a bunch of rentals, like a bunch of apartments or something like that. Do the math, see what they're charging, man, and then you may be able to do it like that. All right. Um, Luis Reyes, how to look for single family home and know it's a good deal as soon as you walk in the property. That's a good question, man. He said, how to look for single family homes and know that it's a good deal as soon as you walk in the property. You're not going to believe my answer to this question. You ready? How do you know a property is going to be a good deal as soon as you walk into the property? Most people walk into a property and they think like a consumer, not like an investor. A consumer walks into a property and they look around and they smell what it smells like. If it smells like brownies and cookies just got done cooking, then they're happy. If it smells like fresh potpourri and beautiful smells of Febreze, and it looks like a brand new house or something like that, then consumers start getting excited. And an investor, like when I walk into a house that's super nice like that, then I'm almost usually walking right out because I'm thinking to myself, it's not going to be a good deal because there's going to be too much consumer interest in buying that house. So it's going to make the price of the house too high. Now, when I go in a house and it's beat up and there's holes in the walls, it stinks because the pets peed on the carpet and crapped on the carpet everywhere. And I go in the basement, and usually you gotta be careful in the basement though. I don't usually like messing around with basements that got jacked up foundations. I don't mess with a whole lot of that. Stomach hurt. Hold on, my kids tapped into my TV. So I don't mess with a whole lot of properties that have a mess up foundation. Like I don't mess with that. But a property that has plumbing issues, they can be expensive, but it can scare other people away. I got a lot of good deals that fell out of contract because they failed plumbing inspection, or they failed that the AC unit doesn't work, or they failed because the water tank doesn't work, and stupid stuff like that. Then when you walk into a house and you see problems like the AC unit is missing, somebody stole the copper out of the all of the pipes in the basement. Most people don't know how to deal with that, or it stinks real bad because of pets. That's when you walk in a house, and that's when you're like, as an investor, you think, all right, maybe this is going to be a good deal because it's going to scare away all the consumers and the people that, you know what I'm saying, the people that are retail minded. It's going to scare them away. So that's when you walk into a house, and hopefully, if there's not a whole lot of investor competition, it'll be beat up enough that you can get a good deal and do your numbers and know how, you spend a few $1,000s fixing everything, that you could still come out way ahead. So like Tommy just said, you could buy the shittiest house in the block. You know what I'm saying? But the block, especially if the block is nice, like if you're in a neighborhood with a lot of nice houses and there's this beat up garage looking house, that's the perfect one. Like that's when you know. And you hopefully there's just not a whole lot of investors competing with you. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that's the answer to that question, bro. You want those houses that scare people away so you can get a good deal on it. Especially if it's superficial cosmetic stuff. The most expensive stuff you got to be careful with is basement foundation repairs and plumbing, underground plumbing. If it doesn't have issues with those types of things, usually like electric, you usually don't have a whole lot of problems, at least in America. Not a whole lot of problems with electric. Drywall stuff is easy. Fixtures and trim and cabinets and countertops, all that stuff's easy. Landscaping, that's easy. Windows, that's pretty much easy. That's just carpentry work. But when it's plumbing and foundation, that's where you gotta be super careful. All right. All right. So I'm looking at the questions here. Michael Smith said, do you have a particular area that you invest in properties? So Michael Smith, I'm in Columbus, Ohio. It's a really good market because there's a good job economy here. And there's over 1 million people in the area, like in the metropolitan area. So it's a real healthy market. And the real estate, you almost can't go wrong unless you go right into the worst area, the worst stagnant area of the city. I prefer to invest close to where I live because I'm familiar with the zip code and what's going on here. And I know like no time soon is there going to be a mass exodus from this side of town. So I'm comfortable investing in my side of town in Columbus, Ohio. So that's my thing. And, so I know I'm familiar with it. I suggest people invest in areas that they're familiar with because you can predict what's going to happen a little bit easier. And Marvin said, are there any discount codes for my real estate course? The answer is yes. It's automatic if you use this link right here. http://willmotivation.com/invest. We'll give you an automatic 40% discount for the people that are on the live stream and the first 50 students to take my course. That's the discount code if you use that URL. All right. So let me go to the next question. James Williams said, would you recommend a new build to become a rental, or would you prefer to flip it? So, hey, James, if you're not watching my channel, watch my series on Project Huracan. It's a new build that I'm building right now. And I'm going through the process of determining, is it better to be a rental or a flip? Now, I'm going to make the final determination when it's done and look at the numbers of flipping it and look at the numbers of renting it. The biggest downside to flipping a new build is the taxes that you'll have to pay on that final amount that you sell the house for. That's the biggest downside of flipping a new build, because you got expenses building that new house, and you should be able to write those expenses off. Now, it depends on how your accountant does your account. Like, I have an accountant that does my taxes and my bookkeeping and stuff. So they try to help me out so that I don't get no surprise tax bills. But if I was doing it, then I know I'll be writing all of those expenses off as they come. And then when I make that sale, if I flipped it, man, I'll be paying a lot of taxes on that new build. So I would prefer to rent it out for a long time until maybe, I don't know how long you keep a house. You don't have to pay as much taxes. But yeah, you just got to be careful with the taxes when you flip. But you just do the numbers at the end, bro, or at the beginning and the end. But see, it took me so long to build this house. The market has changed from the time I built the house. When I started it, the house would have been worth about 180,000. And looks like when I finish it, it's going to be worth 280,000. And I'm not joking. And I bought that land to build that house for $5,000. And it's cost me so far probably 140,000, 150,000. All right, so there you go. All right, so where are we? Johnny Cha-ching, he said, Big Will, when did you feel like you were ready to pull the trigger on your first Lambo? Did you have a specific amount of money in mind? That's a good question, man. Because that question has a lot to do with when I started my channel, because I couldn't justify spending that much money on a car for a long time, man. I had some really good years with my business, made some good money, but I was always taking the money and reinvesting it into my business again. So I was taking, almost all of the money and reinvesting it. So I could have took some of that money and not reinvested it, and I could have bought a Lambo or something, right? But I didn't feel comfortable doing that because I like to have my money working for me. And I'm not my business does good year over year, but it's not guaranteed. Like, I don't have any super long-term contracts. Nothing is guaranteed for me. So I couldn't really justify buying a Lamborghini, not knowing what tomorrow brings with my business. But what happened was, when I had like the most money I ever had saved up with my business, I started to invest some of that money in real estate. Then when I invested a little bit of money in real estate, I got obsessed with learning how to make money with real estate. And I learned how to do rentals, and I learned how to do flips, and I learned how to take those initial properties that I bought and leverage them to buy more properties. And I bought as much properties as I could. And then I started doing flips. And then some of the flips that I had, or some of the properties that I bought, I made so much money off the flip that I was able to pay off the mortgages on some of the other properties that I kept as rental properties. So then I had these rental properties that some of them are paid off, some of them have mortgages, but they're making income every month. So when that happened, I had enough invested in real estate after doing those flips and having those rentals and stuff that I could justify buying a Lambo, because the properties are worth way more than the car. And the properties bring in enough net income to pay the car payment and pay all of their mortgages, including my own. So that's what it was for me to be able to justify buying a Lambo. But I never was buying no $100,000 car before I had the real estate. You could ask everybody in my crew. Now, I always bought cars. Like, the most I had bought up to the point I started getting investing in real estate was a Corvette. That was the most expensive car. Corvette, a GTR, and a BMW, but they all cost less than 70,000. All right, so I wasn't buying no Lambos or nothing like that. But when I started getting into the real estate, like I said, then I was like, okay, now I got enough going in that real estate business to justify the car. but I didn't want my main business to be paying for no cars and stuff like that because I still reinvest money into that business. I still have staff to pay. I got partnerships I got to pay percentages on. I have, to make sure I can support the real estate business if anything is to go wrong or whatever, or an opportunity pops up. So so it wasn't until I basically had the real estate going until I started buying Lamborghinis and stuff like that. And I started to learn about those cars and how much they're worth and their value, so that I don't lose a lot of money if I have to sell one. Like, for example, a lot of you guys saw the video I did where I just sold my Gallardo. I bought that Gallardo for like $90,000, and I sold it for more than I bought it for. Now I'm not gonna say how much more because the guy who bought it might sell it someday, and I don't know what he's thinking about that. So I'm not gonna say how much more it was. But I didn't really lose any money on the price of the car. Now I did pay taxes on the car, and I put some money into fixing it or whatever. So I ended up more or less breaking even. But but I was able to buy the car and drive it, and then get my money back, and then take the money and pay off the loan or whatever, and do whatever I got to do. You feel me? So that's like, you gotta be smart. You gotta be smart. You gotta be careful. Always gotta have insurance, because if something happened to that car, you gotta pay for it. All right. So Mighty Lord Gang said, "Will, have you ever done real estate wholesaling before, and is it good for starting investors?" Short answer to the question is yes, it is good. It can be good for starting investors. You just got to make sure that it's legal in the city or state that you're in. You got to make sure you know what the laws are about wholesaling, and just know what you're doing before you get into it. Now, I got a couple of chapters in my course, not chapters, but videos that I did specifically talking about how wholesaling works. But you just got to be careful, because every local city might have different rules with the realtors and stuff, because wholesaling is somewhat competitive to realtors. And so realtors are a big group of people that lobby, and they don't want that kind of competition. So depending on where you're at, you might have some issues doing wholesaling. But if you don't know what wholesaling is, it's basically getting a contract on a house that you might have discovered or negotiated a purchase price with a seller, and you get a contract on the house. You might not have the money, probably don't have the money to buy a house, but you basically say in the contract that, look, I'm going to get a buyer for this house or this contract. You may or may not tell them. That's the other thing about wholesaling. It just depends on how you do it, right? But once you have that contract on that house for, like, let's say it's 30 days or 60 days or whatever it is to close, and then you might have a contract to buy a house for 100,000, and you think it's worth 125. Then you go out and you have a list of investors that you work with. And you say, hey, I got this house contract, wholesale it. Y'all can check out the house, but I want 125,000 for it. And all the investors look at the house, and then if they buy it for 125,000, you can basically take your interest out of the title, basically sign the title over to them or sign a contract over to them, and then the investor can buy the house for 125, and you keep 25,000, and the original seller gets 100,000. So sometimes the sellers don't like that, so you got to be careful. Like, they got to, you just got to be careful. And sometimes in some cities, you might have to be a realtor to do deals like that, because it's almost like getting a commission. So I don't know all the legalities behind it, and no, I have not done wholesaling, because me personally, if I find a good deal, then I want to do the deal myself. You feel me? Or I share it with my friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might do the financing, get my friends to help me rehab it. We all make money off of it. That's what I prefer to do. All right. But yeah, it can be a good way to start if you don't have money, but you just gotta know what you're doing. You gotta study up on it, figure out who the I think Dean Graziosi is like the wholesaler guy. You can check him out. But I have some information in my course about it. But I prefer to make money off of flips and off of rental properties, buy and hold. All right. All right. So what's the best part about having a Lamborghini? My nephew, what's up, bro? That kid Dia, what's cracking, Dia? The best part about having a Lamborghini is the feeling of accomplishment. That I feel like I achieved a lifelong goal of something that I'm really passionate about, which is cars. I love cars like they are art. So I feel like I accomplished a lifelong goal being able to get the Lamborghini. So I feel good uh, with myself by having that Lamborghini. The other thing about it is that when you have a Lamborghini, people tend to look at you and people tend to listen to you. I don't really like for people to look at me so much because I'm not that guy. But the fact that they are looking, then I try to figure out some way to do something good with that attention. So when people look at you, they want to know who you are. They tend to listen to you. So if people are going to listen to you, you might be able to tell them something good. So I like to be able to tell people something good because I got a Lamborghini and they're listening to me and they might trust me or believe that I know what I'm talking about. So I'm able to leverage the Lamborghini to help people. So that's another thing I like about my Lamborghini Dia. All right. That's the best thing I like about it. All right. But it's fun to drive it and all that good stuff, of course. Um, and it's just been a lifelong dream of mine and happy that it was able to happen. All right. So thanks, Dia, for the question. That was a really good question. Dia is my nephew, by the way. Shout out to Dia Moss. Tommy, how much is my course? Tommy, the course is normally $495, but for those people in the live stream and my first 50 students, the course is $297, I believe. I got 40% off. So if you go to willmotivation.com/invest, that'll redirect you to the course with the discount. All right. Which type of properties should be avoided, meaning cost-wise as well as fix-up wise? Me personally, I always avoid two type of properties, but this doesn't have to be everybody because you could learn how to make money off these properties that I'm gonna talk about. But I avoid properties that are super old, that have old house problems. Like a lot of times on HGTV in Canada, they flip houses in Canada or they rehab houses in Canada and they have knob and tube wiring. That's just because the houses are super old and they use that faulty electric wiring and dangerous electric wiring. I stay away from super old houses because there's more unknowns. And I also stay away from neighborhoods that I don't see them coming back anytime soon. Because then you have less options. If you buy a house in a bad neighborhood that's not coming back anytime soon, then you might be stuck with that house and you can't sell it and you have to rent it. And then you're only going to be able to rent to people that are willing to live in that neighborhood. So I stay away from houses that are in neighborhoods that is where it's hard to rent the house or sell it, period. So, and mileage may vary. So it just depends on, what you think good. But now there's other people making plenty of money on Section 8 in low income housing neighborhoods. So, and they're getting good money. It's just not me. I'm not comfortable with it. I've been investing for a while now and I'm getting more comfortable doing different things, but that's my thing. So that's the answer to your question, Carl. Just Cali, what's up, Will? Would you consider getting a Farragut? What is that? I don't know what that is. Somebody tell me what is a Farragut? Oh, a Ferrari. I guess that was a typo. Would I consider getting a Ferrari? Yeah, I would consider getting a Ferrari now. Not a new one. I would not buy a new Ferrari. No way. I mean, like, let's say I had $100 million, maybe I would get a LaFerrari. Yeah, if I had $100 million, I would buy a LaFerrari. If I had less than that, probably not. So, let me turn my lights up, see if this helps. All right, there. So I probably wouldn't buy a new one, but maybe a used one at some point. But they're so expensive, man. Like Ferraris are up there, and they're not the value for what you get with the Ferrari is not as good as Lamborghini and Porsche and even McLaren. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have like a Ferrari on my radar at this point. All right, Shane in West Palm Beach said to maximize most profit monthly is a 3 to 6 unit multifamily condo or single family home better for first time investing. You got to be careful with that because if it's a multifamily, you might have more to deal with as a first time investor. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have more tenants you got to deal with, potentially more repairs you got to deal with from people messing stuff up, and potentially could be more expensive because it's going to be bigger for a 3 to 6 unit multifamily. However, it could keep you busy for a while where you wouldn't have to keep buying a whole bunch of houses, and you could make good income off of 6 units, 3 to 6 units. You could be making more money in the long run. But the challenge though with multi-family real estate is this. If you buy a single family property, you might not make as much money every month, but let's say you have an emergency and you have to flip that house. You had it as a income property and something happened and you need to sell it, or you at least want to have the option to sell it. If it's a single family home, you can fix it up nice and sell it. Usually people don't have too much problem selling single family homes in decent cities or neighborhoods, right? You can fix it up and sell it as an option. If you got a multi-family home, usually the only people buying multi-family homes are who? The only people buying multi-family homes are investors. And what do investors want when they buy a property? Investors want a good deal. So you got less people that you can sell a multi-family investment property to, and the people that you're selling it to always want a good deal. So it's harder to, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be harder, potentially harder in a down market to sell that multi-family property. Now, if the market is good and you're in a good area where there's a whole bunch and that's all there is multi-families, then you're probably good. Like a big city where all there is row homes and multi-families, then that's probably just normal. But in a city like where I'm from, there's not that many multi-family. There's some, but not, people love single family homes. They appreciate faster, they go up in value faster, and they sell faster, and they rent faster. So just look at your market, man. Your market can tell you, and just knowing not to bite off more than you can chew as a first time investor. But it could be good, man. You can make almost anything work. You say you're in West Palm Beach, that's a good area. Like you could probably make almost anything work down there. Just be careful like with the hurricanes, like in the weather and stuff down there. Like that's another thing, like insurance. Like what's the insurance gonna be on that? Do all your numbers, man, before you make any moves. Chris Cross said, I'm giving day trading a start for investing. I don't have enough cash for real estate. Well, if you don't have enough cash for real estate, just get the knowledge, because the market could change and houses could get cheaper. The other thing is, if you got the knowledge and you know how to evaluate a property, then you could present a deal to an investor and you guys both can make money off of it, even though you don't have the money to put in. If you have the knowledge and you can present a deal, then you might be able to make money that way. So that's in my course as well, man. You can learn it. Day trading, you can make money, but you just, with real estate, you can control the outcome. You can make a house nice. You can fix on it. You can pick where you want the house. It's not rocket science. With day trading, you don't know what them companies are going to do. And you're just looking off of the graph history and projections and taking a guess of what's going to happen. So, but I wish you the best of luck with that. I did it before and I made money and I lost it all. You know what I'm saying? It's just gambling what it ended up being at the end of the day. High Roller Sweet said, what up, Will? I remember past video you did with your friend who has 300 properties. Does he use a management company or does he do it himself? He does it himself, man. And he didn't have 300. He had a little over 100. Now he might have like 100 to 200 properties. And now there was another guy that does have 300, but he wasn't in my video. I was just talking about him. And they both own their own real estate company and they manage their own real estate company. The one guy who's bigger and has more properties, he has a whole business, like a whole building of people that work for him that do all of that stuff. And it's funny because almost every time I come back from Florida on the airplane, he's on the plane with me. It's funny as I don't know what. I'll be in my seat and then I look up and here he comes passing by. It just happened like a week ago. And then it just happened like a month ago, the same dude. So something is telling me I got to get in touch with him. He also owns the Lamborghini Huracan, coincidentally. And we had the same kind of truck because I bought my truck off of him. That's how I met him. It's funny. All right, man. Let me see what other questions we have. I've been on here for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. I want to make sure that if you really are serious about investing in real estate, that you consider taking my online course, because I did it for you guys that subscribe to my channel, that asked me, how do you get the cars? And I told you guys real estate. And you asked me, do I have an online course? And I said no. And and you guys said, "Are you gonna do one?" And I said, "Yes, I'll do it." I took all my free time in 2018, and I did the online course. The online course is ready, and you can invest in it. You could buy the course. It's very thorough. I'll do a video showing you guys what's in it. If you don't, but you can go to the website and check it out. I'm gonna give you the link right here. That's it right there. If you click on that, it'll take you to the online course with a discount code. But you do not have to buy the course. Like, I'm not here like one of those people like desperate to sell an online course or to sell a product. But I did spend the time doing it so that people could learn. And people ask me to mentor them all the time. People ask me to help them all the time. And okay, if you're serious, then go ahead and buy the course so that you're being serious with yourself, and you invest in the course. You invest the time to take the classes and learn the stuff that I'm putting in there. And then you can ask me questions. And every time somebody asks a question, I get an email, comes right to my cell phone, and I go in and answer the question as soon as I got a minute. Usually less than an hour. I usually answer the questions on my course. So now, if you don't have the money, just subscribe to my real estate channel on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody has, $297 or whatever it is for the course. So if you don't have the money for the course, but you want to learn for now, in the meantime, go to this new channel I started, Real Estate 101. There it is right there. Now, if you're in California, I'm going to be there tomorrow. And I am going to be at this secret location at 12 p.m. If you want to be there and hang out and see what we got going on and be on the channel, I'm doing some video footage. I'll have you on the channel, and maybe we'll go get something to eat or something. All right, so that's where I'm gonna be at tomorrow at 12 p.m. California time in the LA area. All right, so let's see. Nick H is a $120,000 ranch rented for $1,300. A bad deal. All right, this is why I recommend you take the course, because I'll give you a spreadsheet that show you where you can put the numbers in to tell you if it's a good or bad deal. It depends on what the mortgage is going to look like. Like, what is your monthly payment on your mortgage? How much are the taxes you got to pay? How much are the home association, like homeowners association fees? How much is the insurance, right? And then all of that stuff, I'm going to guess that that's not enough money for me. I like to make at least $300 or $400, $500 a month after all my expenses. So my guess is $1,300 is barely going to be making that unless you got a long 30-year mortgage or something. You feel me? So, but then again, it could be close. So, but I'm guessing for $120,000, you need to be making $1,400 or $1,500 a month or something like that. Of course, I bought houses for cheaper than that, and I'm getting more than that. But see, I'm real picky. Like, I don't like taking a loss ever. Like, that's not going to be my thing. So nowadays that might be a good deal. You got to just look at the whole thing. Now here's the more important thing. If you buy that house for $120,000, how much are the other houses in the neighborhood? They better be 150 or something like that, so that if you have an emergency and you need to sell that house and you got it for 120, you don't take a loss if you sell it. You feel me? Like, you make your money going in when you buy the house. You get a good deal. Don't just buy a house like retail, like a consumer, because if you have to sell it, man, you could take a loss and you be swearing at me, mad that you invested in real estate. And so, like, I say you gotta, like, not only make money on a rental, but make money in an emergency case where you gotta sell it. And I've had to do that before. Like, I bought a property one time. I moved out of my house into another new build retail house. I paid retail for it, and I changed my mind and wanted to move back here. And because I paid retail for the house, I was afraid I was going to lose money because I didn't get a great deal on it when I bought it. But what I did is I put hardwood floors in it. I put granite countertops in it, and I made it real nice. And then I sold it for a little bit of profit and about broke even. You see what I'm saying? So, but the average person might not think to do that. Might just take a loss, but So that's my advice to you, to Nick H. All right. Ian Roberts said, can you still use 3% down per property for a conventional loan? It just depends on the bank, man. You got to go talk to the banks. Every bank might do something different depending on your credit profile or your your income. My email address is get@willmotivation.com, just like this. That's my email right there. All right. All right. I appreciate you guys jumping in on this live stream. There's some funny stuff in here. What's up, Agnostic Adams? What's good, brother? Um, oh, let me tell you guys too. Anybody is in the market for an Audi S3, I'm gonna sell my Audi S3 for 19,000. It's got 80,000 miles on it, and it's loaded. It has every feature on it. It's like the prestige model Audi S3 2015. I'm gonna sell it for 19,000. And you see this live stream, I'll sell it to you for 18,000. But I gotta sell it pretty quick, based on some stuff that I'm moving around and that I'm doing. We can talk about some more tomorrow if you're in California. All right. All right. So anybody got any last minute questions before I jump off of here? This is where I'm gonna be at tomorrow for anybody that's in California. 12 p.m. I'll be there. And I'll probably take this live stream down in 24 hours as well. All right. Oh, Lance Fisk asked a great question. He said, you ever put in a really offer on a property and was shocked that it was accepted? So basically his question is, did I ever put in a lowball offer and I was shocked that it got accepted? The answer is yes. When I first started getting involved in investing, when my realtor Rich told me that I could offer whatever I want and I'm going to know the next day if I won the auction or not, I was not no dummy. Like I've been in business for a long enough time to be able to figure stuff out quick. So the first thing I did was, when he told me that, I looked at how long the houses have been on the market for sale to see how much demand there is for those houses at the price that they were asking. And the houses have been there for a long period of time, and nobody was buying the houses. And the prices were already good prices. So I felt like I had nothing to lose by lowballing those houses, because I'm going to find out in 24 hours if my offer was accepted or not. And those houses are just, nobody's looking at buying them in no time soon anyway. So I have nothing to lose making a lowball offer. And it's nothing personal, because I was making the offer to HUD on auction foreclosed houses. Like it's not their houses personally. They just looking at the numbers and making a decision. So I made a bunch of lowball offers on all my first cribs that I bought. The first 4 houses that I bought was, one of them was 25,000, one of them was 50,000, one of them was 35,000, and one of them was 90,000. They all, when they were first bought, all of those houses were worth over $100,000 when they had been bought just a few years earlier. But because the market was down, I was lowballing them, and all of my offers got accepted the next day. So yeah, I was like, really? Wow. Like, I'm in business now. Like, and but the market was down and everybody's scared to buy. So you got to take advantage. Like, so if you ever see the market crash and people start, the news start talking about how bad the economy is and the housing market is down, then that's when you should be getting excited as an investor. All right. All right. And Tommy, you wanna buy the S3? Come on, man. You can check it. Come check it out. Yeah, you can drive it. How to launch a YouTube for real estate advice? Just do it. Get a camera, start recording, and just do it. And get better over time. That's my advice. Just do it, man. And don't pay too much attention to, if you don't get traction right away and you don't start get thousands of views right away. Just keep going and keep trying to get better. Look at what other people do and try to mimic the things that work, but be yourself. The discount will be active. This is Blue Cousin said, how long would a discount be active? And does a course have a time limit? No, once you buy the course, you can have access to it forever after, including everything I do to update the course. So there's no time limit on the course. The discount will be active until 50 people. It's for the first 50 people that sign up. Right now, there's probably about 25 in there. Yeah, real estate student. I have 30K and a 750 credit score. Can I get? Yeah, you can get in the game with. Yes, you can get in the game. But before you get in, better watch all my real estate videos. So you got some idea, read some books on real estate, and consider investing in them. You got 30K, you can spend 290 bucks for a course that's going to either make you thousands, maybe millions, or save you thousands, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So get knowledge, whether it's my course or somebody else's course or some books. Get knowledge before you start messing around, losing money, wasting money, or doing unnecessary things. Get knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, 30K, you can definitely you can find a property for 100,000, pick it up for 20,000 down or less, and have money to rehab it, and then either flip it or rent it. Now, I recommend to people who are just getting in the game and your money is kind of tight, like 30,000 is you just getting in the game, because if that's all you got, you might spend all of it on one property. So I recommend you do flips when you get started, because you learn how to do the rehab, you learn how to do the numbers related to that, and then you can make some money real quick. Like 90 days, you should be in and out of a flip. Make your money, turn that 30 into 60, and then do it again. Turn that 60 into 90, and then do it again. And then you got 150,000. Then you buy a rental property for 30,000 of your money and get a mortgage and rent it out, and then start making the long-term money. Then keep doing flips till you get more, and then buy another rental, and then build it up. But always have some money. Always have some money on the side for like anything that can pop up that could happen with the real estate or anything, so you don't have an emergency. And if you do have an emergency, buy a house at the right price, so that if you got to sell the house, you can make some money off of it and get out of it, and then handle your business, and you didn't have a bad experience with real estate. What happens is a lot of people buy a house at retail prices, and then you got to sell it for whatever reason, and you can't make any money off of it, and you take a loss, and then you had a bad experience with real estate. And when in that situation, you should have rented it. But before you bought it at all, you should have evaluated the market to see where you bought the house. Is it a good place? Can you rent it out? Can you flip it? Can you get a good deal on it? Be smart. All right. I don't have a real estate license, Jarvis, so I don't. As an investor, you don't have to have a real estate license to buy property and sell property, like to put property for sale. You got to have a realtor's license if you want to list something on the MLS and actively go out and represent people in a purchase or in a sale. You got to be a realtor for that and have a real estate license. Now, with the knowledge that you learned getting a real estate license, I'm sure you could probably be a better investor and stuff like that, but it's not required. I appreciate the super chats, Tommy, man. That's good looking out, man. It shows me that you're serious, bro. It shows me that you're serious. You usually get out of something what you put into something. So I appreciate that. And I'm about to be out. It's Friday night. I appreciate y'all coming in and spending some time with me on Friday night. I hope some of the knowledge that I shared was helpful. And like I said, I'm going to be in California tomorrow, 12 p.m. And like I and Mr. Moss just said, take advantage of the real estate course discount. It's not going to be around forever, the discount at least. Here's the link. Hold on. All right, so yeah, had to take a little break there. I've been talking too much. All right, so I appreciate y'all, and I love you guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time out to talk with me and learn a little bit and ask questions. And yeah, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you're in California, I will be there tomorrow at 12 p.m. at the address that I keep posting right here. And I'm not going to say what's going on, but tomorrow, if you're there, you'll find out. You could be in the video, and it should be pretty cool. And I don't know, I might not release that video though for a while. Just wait for the right time. But anyway, I'll be out there tomorrow, and appreciate you guys staying tuned to the channel. And if you got any more real estate questions, just drop them in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to my Real Estate 101 channel. It's youtube.com/real estate 101. Real easy. And if you want to invest in the course to learn more, just go to willmotivation.com/invest. Super easy. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate you guys. And enjoy your weekend. All right. Peace.